Cowboy fans and YouTubers? It's that VA Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting down below. I make these videos for me and you, and they're a little therapeutic. Like I said, I was going to come back before the game, make a couple videos about the Seahawks and the Cowboys. This episode is mainly about our safeties, because people have been talking about Jamal Adams and Earl Thomas, you know, the two biggest names that would come up in this game situation due to the fact that we did have a shot at both of them. Now, Earl Thomas was a different thing compared to Jamal Adams in the end. At first, it was on the Cowboys to possibly trade for Earl Thomas, and that deal fell through. So when he became a free agent after the 2018 season, after he had broken his leg, he had the choice. The Cowboys put out feelers and an offer to him, and he chose to go with the money to Baltimore. Now, he signed a 4-year, $55 million contract with $32 million guaranteed to go to Baltimore in March of 2019. Now, you think if you really wanted to come to Dallas as you wanted, you'd have taken our deal and just been here. Instead, he used the Cowboys as leverage to get more money out of Baltimore. So that's one thing I can't stand about Earl right now. Everybody's saying, you know, just based off his statistics, we needed to get him. But obviously, he didn't care about coming to us. That he used us for leverage just to get more money out of something else. So, you know, that's not cool. How the hell we supposed to sit up here and expect you to come in and be cool with us when you used us? Basically, you used us to get more money out of somebody else and then reneged on us. So now you're crying and boo-hooing saying you really want to come when you've already screwed us over once. So, you know, I'm not too excited to get him as everybody else is. Most people think he's going to be the best thing since sliced bread to fix this whole defense, but he's not. I already don't like his attitude. You seen he just uses us. He doesn't want to play for Dallas. If he did, he'd have just joined us. He wouldn't have used us for some leverage. That's bull. And the fact that when he was released, the quote that they used was that he adversely affected the Baltimore Ravens. Teammates have come out and said he was conduct detrimental to the team, that they couldn't stand him in the end, that he wasn't a team player. So, you know, y'all can want him for statistical purposes all you want, but personality-wise, are you the same fans that said, you know, Greg Hardy? Are you the same guys that said T.O.? You know, great stats, but their personalities were cancerous to this team. So then you wanted to get rid of them after you wanted them. I don't know which it is, but that's how Earl is now sitting out here being a free agent. Jamal Adams, on the other hand, he went from the Jets to the Seahawks for, him and a 2022 fourth-round pick went from the Jets, while Seattle gave away Bradley McDougald, a first and a third in the 2021 draft, and a first in the 2022 draft. So that's 2 first-rounders and a third, plus Bradley McDougald to the Jets for basically Jamal Adams. Now, again, are you the same fans that said, you know, y'all were mad we gave a first-round pick to Amari Cooper, didn't have one this past year in 2019, and our first pick was Tristan Hill? Y'all were mad we didn't have a first-round pick because all those people that we could have had went off the board. Now you're willing to give up 2 first-rounders just for Jamal Adams, thinking he was gonna be, you know, end-all, be-all, save the whole safety position. I don't know what y'all want, to be honest. You know, one day you want to give up the farm for one player, the next you want to keep the farm so you can draft the next player. I don't know what you want. But as far as Jamal Adams go, we're gonna go from when he was drafted to now, which was 2017. He missed 2 games in 2019. His stats line looked like this: 287 total tackles, 14 sacks, 25 passes deflected, 2 interceptions, 1 a pick six, and 6 forced fumbles. Now, that's not bad for a 24-year-old, 6'1", 214-pound strong safety. Now, you're wondering, what about us? Our starters compared to that? Well, for strong safety, you have Darian Thompson. He's 27 years old, 6'2", 212. He came by way of, I think, the Giants, I do believe, had him first, and then he came to the Cowboys. Same stats through those years, 2017 to now. He missed 6 games in 2018, 1 game in 2019. He's had 111 total tackles, 1.5 sacks, 9 passes deflected, and 1 interception. Now, y'all say those are horrible stat lines, but look at what we had. Jason Garrett was not going to stop Jeff Heath from trotting out there every other week to play in the position. So he took away snaps from special teams and base defense. With Jeff Heath in the way, Darian Thompson never really got to see the field. So now most of his stats are now coming from, those injury games that Jeff couldn't play last year and now. So that's not a bad stat line to start on, but you guys have already given up on him. Also, Donovan Wilson, 25 years old, 6 foot, 200 pounds. He missed 5 games in 2019, and his whole stat line since we got him, he's only had 3 tackles. That one, again, he was buried on the depth chart. You can't really say, he sucks because we never saw him. That's a lot of problems with what we've had going on, is that we kept the guys who really weren't doing anything based on seniority because of the whole last regime. We never got to see what these young guys could do. And now that they're out here thrown into the fire with no preseason, you're like, well, what the hell happened? They look great in preseason only because they were playing against other rookies, other scrubs. Now that they got to go into real action, you're like, well, they suck. Now, based off of 2 games, you're already quit on them. You're already trying to get rid of them and give up the farm for everybody else. Funny. But going off these same 2017 to 2020 stats, we got our buddy Earl Thomas. He missed 2 games in 2017, 12 in 2018, and 1 in 2019. He's 31 years old. He's a strong safety, 5'10", 202 pounds. His stat line looks like this: 154 combined tackles, 2 sacks, 16 pass deflections, 7 interceptions, 1 pick six, and 2 forced fumbles. That's not bad for a future Hall of Famer, right? Everybody's like, automatic future Hall of Famer. Now, you bring him in, he's a free safety. Who's our starting free safety? X Woods. Everybody says he lays the wood. But y'all saying he sucks. Get rid of him too, right? Well, he's 25, 6 years younger, 5'11", 212 pounds, missed 2 games in 2018, 1 in 2019. His stat line is 183 tackles, 17 pass defense, 5 interceptions, and 3 forced fumbles. Now, you're looking at it, 183 tackles to 154. You already got better there. 2 sacks. That's pretty good because of what he's been told to run. They use him on stuff like that. Unfortunately, Woods hasn't been used closer to the line to try for sacks kind of statistics or anything. So he doesn't have that stat line. 17 passes defensed to Earl Thomas's 16. They're about even there. And he's had 5 interceptions to Earl's 7. So they're almost even there. He had a pick six, though, and 2 forced fumbles, where X Woods has 3 forced fumbles. So you're kind of getting, even out statistics with the guy 6 years younger. So what exactly are we talking about? If X Woods has as many years as Earl Thomas and he was in the Legion of Boom, he'd probably have the same amount of stats. Because right now, their years between 2017 to now are exactly the same. Now, Earl probably have a couple more stats on his line if he wasn't a free agent right now. So, you're trying to give up all this money to a guy who's playing the same position as X Woods, and he's older. He seems to have injury prone lately. He's having attitude problems, and y'all want him based off of past production. A lot of times you guys hate guys we get because of past production, because we pick up these scrub free agents and y'all mad about that. So I'm not sure, as a Cowboy fan, what exactly do y'all want? One way, you hate free agents that are scrub basement guys, but they're living off past stats. And sometimes you want those free agent scrubs based off their past stats. I mean, if they didn't have it, if his name wasn't Earl Thomas, would you go off just based on the stats? Or would his name be Earl Thomas and he had shit for stats? Would you take him? That's the problem. Are you doing it just for a name, or, statistical purposes? Who cares about the personality? Because a lot of y'all are like, well, he can go in and we have the personnel who's going to correct his butt if he comes out of line. Yeah, we've said that before, and absolutely nothing happens. Nobody's accountable. Nobody's ever held accountable by the Cowboys. That's the problem. So if he came in here and disrupted this team, would y'all be mad? Or would y'all say, who cares? We're winning if we winning. Because y'all say he can automatically change this whole defense by himself. Well, there's still the offense that's got to score, and the special teams who's got to score or give us great field position. So I'm not sure how Earl Thomas and Jamal Adams would have saved everything. That's just my opinion. But that's what I got for y'all right now. I'm just trying to figure out, what exactly are we looking for? Are y'all just mad because we're losing or close to losing, and that's why you're hating all the players right now? Or is there something else going on that you have a reason to just hate these guys just because? I don't know. I'm like my wife now. I want to see the glass half full. I want to be more optimistic. This is a game that's really going to show what our offense and defense can do, even though we're not 100%. And that's so it's going to be a little skewed because our whole defense is not playing. It's going to be halfway through October before most of our defense gets healthy and back. And until then, we're just going to have performances where we suck. They're learning on the fly. Jalen Smith has said that, we got to make the defense more simplistic. And, we've heard that before. Because Rob Ryan, when he was our defensive coordinator, they said his defenses were too complex. So maybe it is the players and not the defense and the defensive coordinator and the scheme that is the problem. Maybe we just don't have players that can think more complex shit than the simple basic stuff. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Just throwing that out there. Maybe it's just the players. Maybe they're just not built to play complex defenses. I mean, maybe that's why defenses of the past were good in these schemes, because they knew what they were getting into. They had those kind of players that could play all those positions, and they knew how to cooperate, get their communication down, and it was flawless. We don't have that kind of players right now. The minds and the linebacker position are all hurt, so you're not really getting that fortunate on that. The D-line is still trying to figure out if they want to play upright or put their hands on the ground. And the defensive secondary, y'all already said get rid of every safety. And now all our corners are hurt. So, it's going to be a while, guys. Calm down, relax. If anything, we already know that this season was a wash. No matter what happened, because no preseason, no off-season programs, no way to really get these guys acclimated to everything we're doing with a new coaching staff. it wasn't possible to do this stuff on a fly on a weekly basis and try to really, get everything down in this season. So maybe next season or the season after that, when these guys can all get together as a core, and you get rookies in that can play all these positions even better, and they can stay healthy, this will be a whole different thing, So give it some time. We're going to get there. It's just going to take a while. And for those who made it this far, I just want to throw out some more stats for Bradley McDougald. Nobody talks about him after that Jamal Adams trade. We're always talking about Jamal Adams and the Seahawks. Well, what about the guy who got traded for him? Well, right now, he is got 200, his stats for the same time period are 229 tackles, half a sack, 20 pass deflections, 5 interceptions, and 4 forced fumbles. So, at 29 years old, playing the same position as Jamal Adams, his stats are pretty darn on par with him. So, you went younger. That's about the only difference. You gave up 2 first-round picks, a third, for a guy who's basically doing the same thing you had a guy already there for. So basically, you're seeing that case scenario where they're trading for a name. Bradley McDougald was not a scrub. He was actually playing well. And to just give him up for Jamal Adams, who's basically doing the same thing, and you threw away 2 first-round picks. Not sure, Seattle, that was the best thing to do, but I'm not a GM. I'm not a coach. I'm not ownership. I have nothing to do with that. I don't know. That's on them. And we'll just have to see how it ends up all in the end. If Seattle doesn't win a Super Bowl with Jamal Adams, we're going to be like, well, what was that trade for? We already know the Jets ain't winning nothing. And as far as Earl goes, until he goes to another team or somebody seriously thinks about him, he's still a free agent. He's still going to be out there until somebody picks him up. We don't know what's going to happen there, It took this long just for somebody to look at Jadeveon Clowney and finally pick him up. So, the only thing Seattle's done, they're looking at Snacks Harrison now. So we can pretty much cross him off the list because more than likely, if he fits, they're going to pick him up. So, if y'all made it this far into the video, I hope you've enjoyed just throwing some stats and everything out there, trying to get the whole safety question out of the way right now, because people have been talking about it, how we need to get this guy or that guy, and this is why I'm not worried about getting Earl Thomas, because technically, in the same stat years that we have for our guys right now, he's not exactly all world. He's not exactly lighting it up, statistic-wise. Right now, he's just living off his name. That's about it. Because if he came in and got injured week 1, then where would y'all be? Where would y'all be crying about? So, it's just like why Dez Bryant is still a free agent. You're a name, but your time's passed. Maybe it's just time for Earl to call it retirement and just go into the Hall of Fame. He thought about it after 2016. Why not now? But that's just my opinion. I hope you share yours. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is VA Dallas Cowboy fan.